Welcome everyone to what I think is one of the most incredible shortline railroads in the West, the Coos Bay Rail Line of Western Oregon. Enjoy this intro of some of the best locations. This stunning 120-mile railroad is home to some very scenic views through the Coast Range Mountains. Let's look at the map. We'll start on the south end near North Bend and journey to the north side ending in Eugene where it connects with the Union Pacific. This line is considered running north-south even though about half of it runs in an east-west direction. The first shot is of a northbound train crossing the Big Bay Bridge over the Coos Bay itself, which is just north of the towns of North Bend and Coos Bay. It's impossible to fly a drone here without breaking the law because of the Southwest Oregon Regional Airport just on the other side of the bridge, so I had to settle for some ground footage. It was a very windy day, which is evident from the camera shake. This scene was filmed in April, and now, during the time of uploading this video in October, this bridge is actually out of service. It currently has major electrical issues with the swing span section of the bridge, and was also struck by a boat a couple months ago. The Port of Coos Bay owns the rail line and has stated repairs will be very costly and difficult. This will hinder service to several customers south of the bridge, including the unloading and shipping of logs, which is a good bit of business. Another close map shot shows several branch lines directly north of the bridge. Customers on those branches include Southport Lumber, Roseburg Forest Products, and some transloading also takes place. I believe logs are still being shipped and transloaded from this side of the bridge. The line then runs along a short section of sand dunes, which is pretty neat. This train is being led by HLCX number 1078, and the crew just picked up some empty chip cars and loaded center beam cars before continuing north. We'll see this train quite a bit throughout the video. Now, we're a few miles north of the bridge, where I could get the drone up in the air looking at the same northbound train. I've covered the Coos Bay line before, but this video features the whole line from one end to the other during different seasons from 2025. For many years, much of the line was operated at night, which has been very unfortunate. Trains would normally run the most scenic sections during the cover of darkness. At the beginning of the year, that all changed. They switched operations around, and now everything runs during the day. This was such a big win for the railfan community, and I was so excited. It's one of my favorite shortline railroads due to how incredibly scenic it is. Flying high up to 400 feet above the ground, we can see the Pacific Ocean about 2 miles in the distance. Subscribe and hit the bell if you're enjoying. A few miles north, we're at Hauser on a foggy February day with HLCX 3847 leading another northbound train. Saunders Lake is just 2 miles north during April with HLCX 1078 northbound. As you can see by this train, most of what is shipped is lumber related. Loaded center beam cars are sent north out to the National Rail Network. Chip and log cars are loaded at the Greenhill Reload just outside Eugene and are exported out by ships. We will get a look at that Greenhill Reload near the end of the video. In February at Saunders Lake on that foggy day with HLCX 3847 northbound. Lakeside is a few miles north, and we're back in April with HLCX 1078 northbound. It's about to pass through Tunnel 21, the southmost tunnel on the line. The line skirts alongside North Tenmile Lake, and then we'll cross it over a lengthy bridge. There are quite a few long, low bridges like this, which is what the Coos Bay Line is well known for. Just through the trees straight ahead in the distance is another tunnel, Tunnel 20. Next is the same train along Scholfield Creek, which is south of Reedsport. In February now, with HLCX 3847 northbound less than 2 miles north, still along Scholfield Creek. Back in April now in Reedsport is HLCX 1078 northbound. Reedsport is home to another lengthy bridge that crosses the Umpqua River. This bridge also has a swing span section. This allows large boats and ships to pass through the bridge. Across the way there is Highway 101, which has its own swing span bridge for the same purpose. February again with HLCX 3847 northbound in the same spot and beyond. Several smaller bridges are just north of the Reedsport Bridge. One more shot of this section now in June with HLCX 3854 northbound. Quite the drastic change in the foliage between February and June. The train is now passing through Gardner Junction, which is the junction to a branch line to the town of Gardner and beyond. Many years ago there was a giant mill that this branch line served, but no longer. Now, the branch line is barely used, if at all. North of Reedsport, the line parallels Smith River for a brief moment. This is back in February with HLCX 3847 northbound. A few miles farther north now, we're back in June and coming up on some more stunning bridges. HLCX 3854 is northbound on the southmost bridge over Tahkenitch Lake. Tahkenitch Lake is quite large, and the railroad crosses multiple arms of it over the course of several miles. Now we're looking at the northmost bridge over Tahkenitch Lake with a southbound train led by the same 3854 in April. This is over 3 miles north of the southmost bridge we just saw. Right in the middle of the lake, the train crosses one of the most spectacular bridges on the line. This was a train of only log cars, which was very neat. And now back to those southmost bridges we saw that last northbound train cross. We are now back in February at Siltcoos Lake with 3847 northbound. This is another lake with several impressive bridges. We're now also getting into the section of the line that used to be pretty much exclusively ran during the cover of darkness before the big change in operation. There are not many photos or videos of trains during the day over the next 30 plus miles, compared to the rest of the line that is. That's aside from what rail fans have gathered in 2025 at least. I've been fortunate to catch a few daytime trains over the years, but it has been very few and far between. This bridge is one of my favorites. Another shot in the same spot in April reveals Tunnel 17 hidden in the trees just before the bridge. HLCX 1078 is northbound. Just 1 mile north is another pair of bridges over Siltcoos Lake. HLCX 3854 is leading a train southbound in February. In June, we're a couple miles north on the north end of Siltcoos Lake. We see 3854 again, now leading a northbound train. Now the line is following Maple Creek. Next up is a spot I was very excited to get a daytime train at, Tunnel 16, which is at Canary. It's February with 3847 northbound. For many years, this tunnel was hidden in the trees like most of the others, but not long before this, it was clear-cut, which now gives a very good view of the North Portal. We will watch a couple trains here. Coming into the frame now is an old baggage car on the Canary spur track. This car has definitely seen better days and has been here a long time. I know of a photo from 1992 that shows this car in the exact same position. Actually kind of neat that it is still here. In April now at Tunnel 16 with 1078 northbound. A couple miles north, still in April, is 3854 southbound with that log train we saw earlier. Really very neat to see a whole train of logs in 2025. Does anyone know if this can still be seen on any other US railroads? Let me know in the comments. in February at that same wood bridge and beyond, with the northbound led by 3847. Just around the corner, only 1 mile north, is a well-known spot on the line and another favorite of mine, Cushman and the Cushman Bridge over the Siuslaw River, another very lengthy one on the railroad. This scene is in May with 3847 northbound. This bridge has a swing span section as well, but hasn't been operational for ages. Now is a look at 3854 southbound in February, about to make its way over the Cushman Bridge. South of Cushman, we're at Wensden Siding, which is the main meeting point for trains on the line. One crew runs a train from North Bend while the other runs a train from Noti. They swap trains here and head back to their respective origin points. This whole crew run, route, and train swap between North Bend and Noti is what used to happen during the evening and night. We are a few miles north of Wenzen, and now the line is following the Siuslaw River. It will stay along the river for over 30 miles. 3847 leads a train northbound in May. For the rest of the video, the line moves in an east-west direction, but the railroad still designates it as north-south. Many of the upcoming scenes are from the same day in May, chasing one train each direction. Our same train is a few miles farther north, now approaching Beck Siding. They would pick up a pair of chip cars here and then continue. The same train again is a few miles farther, now at Mapleton. Mapleton Siding is a section the railroad commonly keeps empty centerbeam cars to pull from when customers need switched. That's exactly what the crew is about to do here. They will pick up quite a few centerbeam cars here to bring for the customers in Noti. Next, we're at Brickerville with 3854 heading southbound still in May. The scenery just continues to be stellar along the Siuslaw River. This neat little bridge bows quite a bit when the train passes over. Watch close. On the north side of Brickerville is 3847 northbound and its train we saw in Mapleton. They now have a whole bunch more train with the center beam cars added from there. Just around the corner is 3854 again, heading southbound. At Swisshome, the line crosses Lake Creek with 3847 northbound. Just on the other side of the bridge is the confluence of Lake Creek and the Siuslaw River. The Siuslaw is coming in from the left. I wish I had got a better shot showing that. A pretty neat spot where two canyons merge together just behind the camera. The line continues up the Siuslaw, still for quite a few scenes with several bridges back to back. 3854 is southbound over one bridge, and just past another over the river less than a mile back as well. A few miles north, the line crosses the river twice again in a short distance. 3847 is northbound over this first double bridge. 3854 is southbound, curving along the river a couple miles north. On the same curve, 3847 is northbound. It's quite the tunnel of trees through many sections on the line. The same area now back in February is 3847 again, heading northbound. It's a pretty big difference in the foliage between May and February. In February still is the same train about 5 miles north over another crossing of the Siuslaw. Now back in May over the same bridge with 3847 again. Less than a mile north are a couple neat things. The Wildcat Creek covered bridge crosses Wildcat Creek just before it flows into the Siuslaw River, which is what the railroad and highway are crossing. 3854 is leading southbound once again in May. In the same area is 3847 again northbound. From here, for about 10 miles, the line will now follow along Wildcat Creek and will cross it multiple times. Just around a corner and through a hill, 3847 is northbound back in February, passing through Tunnel 14 just before crossing the creek again. back in May with 3854 southbound, about to cross another spot over Wildcat Creek. The same train is a few miles farther north, along a newer clear cut that opened up a nice section along the line. Again, we're a few miles north with the same train led by 3854 through a power line opening. Next, we're at the newly installed Vaughn Trestle over Noti Creek. This bridge was replaced just a couple years ago. HLCX 1078 leads the train northbound. I liked the style and look of the old bridge, but I think this one is pretty nice for being modern. Now finally in Noti that I mentioned earlier. This is a crew base for the railroad and 2 customers are here. Swanson Brothers Lumber is in the foreground and Sierra Pacific Noti is across the road in the background. They seem to always keep a locomotive here so a crew can use it to switch the mills as needed. This Sierra Pacific location ships at least 5 cars a day on average, if not more. The crew is about to start the day with 1078 leading northbound. They will first switch out Sierra Pacific before continuing to Eugene. We will watch a little of the switching action. Now, and for the rest of the video, we will follow 1078 into Eugene. It's passing through the town of Veneta here. .1078 is now moving along next to Fern Ridge Lake. The line is now very much out of the mountains and moving into the Willamette Valley with Eugene not too much farther. This train has a very healthy amount of loaded center beams. Next is another significant spot. This is the Greenhill Reload just outside Eugene. Both logs and ship cars are loaded here for export out of Coos Bay. It's pretty neat to see a situation like this where a shortline railroad deals with end-to-end service of customers. Cars loaded at one point on the railroad, shipped, and then unloaded at another spot on the railroad. There's a trackmobile here so the folks of the reload side can shuffle cars around as they need without the railroad having to switch for them. They also make poles right here on site, but those aren't shipped by rail as of now. Today's train would pick up even more centerbeam cars here to bring into Eugene. This would be quite a big train of lumber being brought to the Union Pacific. Made it to our final scene in the middle of Eugene, where the Coos Bay line connects to UP's Brooklyn subdivision. UP's Eugene yard is just beyond the trees and overpass to the right. The main line is on the far right, and the yard lead next to it on the left. The Coos Bay hauler will pull all the way up onto the yard lead, and then back the whole train into the Eugene yard. This is one of the very rare times I fly in a city setting like this. If you've enjoyed, then consider helping the channel out with a super thanks donation via the thanks button on the bottom of the video. It tremendously helps to bring you quality material like this, but please also do not feel obligated to do so. Your viewership means the world to me, and I am so grateful if you made it all the way to the end of this long video. Thank you so very much for watching, and check out more videos on my channel of scenic and cinematic trains.